The next step in this installation of the water heater is to install the controls for the water heater. There are two controls. One is for the two 30 volt and then the other one is for the gas, so that operates the gas. I'm going to drill two holes, one here and then one below it. So then I will line the two of these up and we will have the gas on top and the electric below it. So that's the idea. I'm going to drill a hole with a hole saw. It's going to be 54 mil and that will be big enough so that I can fit the back of this through the hole, and then the front of it you've got four screws, so 1, 2, 3, 4. When I have it secured with the screws, I will then place this cover on the front of it. Okay, so I now have these two control panels in and I'm going to hook them up to the water heater just down here. So what you have to do is just connect them from the back, connect them in like that, hook them up and then run the cable down to the water heater and then connect it to the water heater. So I'm just going to hook it up here first. And with one of the control panels you have this backing that goes on it just to protect the cable. And now I'm going to connect the cables. So I've run the cables and these are the two cables for the control panels, and one simply clicks in to the corresponding cable coming out of the water heater, which is this one, like that. And the other cable inserts into this part of the water heater, so you just insert it like that and then click it down, and that's now hooked up. So you now have the 12 volt connected. So how you connect the 12 volt is you simply get a flat-headed screwdriver, and what you do is you come in on the top here and you press down, and then what that does is it opens this, it's like a door, it opens and then you can slot in your cables. You do that on either side. So that's the 12 volt here for, I think that's to operate the gas, and then this is for the control panel. Okay, so I've just filled up the water tank in the back, and I have the cold and hot water feed from the hot water heater. They're connected to the shower taps and the faucet in the front, and now what I've got to do is, the first time I worked this pump, the accumulator I don't think was working, and I have to pump it up. So what I have to pump it up to is 2.1 bars, which is approximately 30 psi. So what you do is you check your pump and you figure out, sometimes it'll be written around here that it's what bars it is, but here all you can see is the PSI. So I googled it, and 30 PSI is equal to 2.1 bars. So I think this accumulator is only set to 0.9 bar of inflation, so they've only pumped it up. It comes with 0.9 bars in it, so it takes a max of 8 bars and a max of 116 psi. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my 12 volt pump, and on the top here you can actually hook up. What you can do is hook on your nozzle. So I've hooked on the pump to the top of the accumulator. It's got a nozzle coming out at the top, and now what I'm going to do is set the PSI to 30. As you can see, that's now set to 30, so I can now release the valve. And now that should mean that the water will come out more evenly. Now that I have this pumped to the correct pressure, let's test it. The next thing is to hook up the 240 volt and turn on the hot water heater. So that runs into there, and this is the control panel. So I'm hoping that this will turn on. I don't know. Right, so the tank has now been filled with water, and I've just increased the pressure in the accumulator to the correct pressure, and now I'm after filling the water heater tank. So what I did was I turned it on, filled it up. I had some small leaks where the pipes weren't actually connected in correctly, so make sure that when you connected it that the pipes are cut to the correct length, because sometimes you think they're clicked in all the way and then you discover they're not, and you need to recut the pipe to the correct length. And I have one small little leak here, and that may be coming from the tank that I have to look at. We'll see. So anyway, it's off at the moment, and if I turn this back on, the pump kicks in, and I've got the faucet connected to the two pipes, the hot and the cold, and now I'm going to test to see if the hot water is coming from the hot water heater, if it's actually heated up. I just want to make sure that we're getting hot water, so I'm going to turn this on, and then there we go, there's hot water. And then if I turn it all the way over to the left, yeah, there's the pipe and hot water. We've got hot water. That's great. Now it means that I can go ahead and tank the shower unit and fit in the plumbing for the shower. So now that I've got the hot water all tested, it means I can turn this off. You turn it off by just flicking it up, and that's the control panel in the back of the shower unit. The water heater has now been fully installed and tested, and we have got hot running water. I tested it last night in the pissing rain and cold, and it was really bad footage, so I don't know if you can actually see the hot water, but there was hot water coming out of the taps, and I just roughly hooked up everything, turned on the hot water heater, and after about half an hour, because I went in, had a cup of tea, came back out, and it was piping hot. So we have hot water in the van, which will be very, very cool. And that means that we can have hot showers and we can wash the dishes and wash the dogs. That's the end of this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it and I hope you found it useful. And if you've got any comments or questions, please do leave them in the comments section below this video. Also subscribe to the channel, and if you want to follow along with the van build, click the notification icon. You'll be notified for future videos in the van build series, and give the video a like if you liked it. Thanks a million for watching. See you on the next one.